Hello everybody and welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. Today we're going to be doing something very different. We're moving away from League One, we're moving away from Oxford United and we're moving into national football. Of course we've got the European Championships coming up this summer. It was meant to be last summer, it's now this summer. And England of course are going to be playing that competition. We did this a few months ago. I did a live episode of the podcast where I sort of interacted with you people. You said whether you agree with my 23-man squad. Today we're going to move in, we're in March right now, so we're going to be sort of looking at how that sort of changed, but we're going to be doing it in a tier list system. Lots of different players have sort of, I guess, burst on to the scene, sort of. I mean, we've got some players that definitely weren't even in a look in a few months ago and now have got a huge chance of going to the competition, and we're going to be discussing that in a tier list system. I'm not going to lie, this is very much inspired from James Lawrence Alcott, a recent subscriber, a little flex there. James is subscribed. If you're watching, hello, thank you very much for letting me basically steal your idea. I did it before, but the tier list is completely your idea. I've literally exactly stolen your tier list as well, so I appreciate that. So I've gone with that, and this is the tier list on the screen right now. As you can see it, we've got all the potential players that could be going to the competition, and I'm going to be putting them in the categories that I would put them in if I was in Gareth Southgate's shoes. Thank you very much, James. If you haven't checked out James Lawrence Alcott on YouTube, definitely go and check him out because this is completely inspired by him. Let's crack straight on with it. Also, please do leave a like and subscribe. We're on the road to 200 subscribers now, and I'm hoping we can get there before June, which is my birthday. So if we can hit 200 subscribers before my birthday, that would be absolutely fantastic. If you haven't subscribed, we've got lots of different pieces of content coming your way very, very soon. I've done this in the last few days. I've literally been creating and filming lots of different podcast episodes. It's now the editing process, which is this is the bit that's holding us back a little bit. We are still working on that, and there will be lots of different content, League One, Premier League, and of course national content like this as well. That's going to be coming very, very soon, so please do subscribe. We've got such a variety. Leave a like as well, and leave your comments down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Please don't dislike the video, by the way, if you disagree with me. Just give it a like, and then tell me why you may disagree in the comments down below. That'd be fantastic. We've got a lot to get through, so let's crack straight on with it. We're going to start. We're going to go in order, I think, of the players that we can all see here. Okay, we're going to go in order of the players that we can all see here. So the first player, as you can see here, we've got Luke Shaw. Okay, Luke Shaw is the first player on the list. And for me, I think normally I do sort of plan and I do sort of write notes about the different situations and the different players and the different basically what we're doing on the podcast. But today I'm going to sort of speak through my thinking, if that makes sense. Well, Luke Shaw, in my opinion, I think it's a great season at Manchester United this season. He's really come to life. He's been a great player for them this season. There's been a few doubters, I'm sure, from a lot of Man United fans over the past few years about whether or not he's good enough to play for United, whether or not he's good enough to be a left-back at Manchester United. And I think this season, he's shown to a lot of United fans that he can do that he can be their left-back. They brought in Tellez, obviously, in the summer, and I think that might have helped his development even more. It's pushed him even better. And I think for England, I think that's perfect. We've now got a left-back that can definitely do us a great job, and he's a great player. He's definitely helped himself and improved himself going forward as well. So yeah, I think Luke Shaw definitely gets himself on the plane. I don't think he'll play is the category for him. As you can see the categories there, we've got no chance, danger zone, should be fine, on the plane, he'll play. I don't think he's going to be guaranteed starting 11. I don't think I'll put him in my starting 11. But for me, he's definitely on the plane. So that's where I'm going to put Luke Shaw. For Declan Rice then, Declan Rice, in my opinion, one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League. I think this season he's been great. West Ham have had an incredible year, and he's been so important with that. Him and Soucek in the midfield for West Ham, he's been very, very good. The reason why I think they've been so successful this season at West Ham is because they've got such a stable midfield. They've got such a solid midfield, and Declan Rice is, of course, at the heart of that. He's a great player. For me, I'd play him. I think for me, he's got to play. So for me, I'm going to put him in. He'll play. Okay, Declan Rice for me is playing, and that's where I'm going to put him in that category. Next up then, we've got Alexander-Arnold. Interesting one, because we've got a lot of right backs. Of course, I am trying to sort of think it through, because as we go, we've got to think of positions. We can't have, lots of right backs. We've got such an option of right backs. We've got such depth in right back position. We can't stick them all in he'll play. So we've got to really methodically think about where we're going to put these people. So Alexander-Arnold, of course, great season last season. Liverpool have struggled this season, and he hasn't had the best of years, in my opinion, as it's the best of seasons. He's had a great year, but not a great season. But last season he was so good. He was a vital part of that incredible Liverpool side, and for that reason, it's so difficult because this has got to be based on form. The Euros is this summer. If it was last summer, Alexander-Arnold, he's playing. Everything's changed now. It's this summer, and some players have benefited from it being suspended for a year and moved to the following year. But some players, I think Alexander-Arnold's in that boat of it hasn't really worked out for him because he had a great year and he has been fantastic with Liverpool and he's still a fantastic player. No one is saying otherwise. But based on form, are there other right backs in that team that could do something better than Alexander-Arnold? You look at the options we've got at right back. You look at the Reece Jameses. You look at the Wan-Bissakas. You look at now Alexander-Arnold. Where does he fit in? For me, he's on the plane. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think he's playing, in my opinion. I've got an idea of who I'm going to play as our right back. It's not Alexander-Arnold, unfortunately, and that's why I think he's on the plane. So then, Patrick Bamford. Where's he going to be? He's definitely not playing. I don't think he's on the plane. Definitely. For me, I think he's got no chance. In my opinion, I think Patrick Bamford, a great finisher, but we've got so many players in that option, in that position up front. We've got so many centre forwards, we've got so many strikers. We only really, and if it was me, and I think Gareth will be the same, we're probably going to play with one striker. So for me, I think Patrick Bamford's got no chance. I'm sorry, Leeds fans. I'm sorry, Patrick, because he's a great striker and a really, really good finisher for Leeds. But is he better than Harry Kane? Obviously not. Is he better than Danny Ings? Probably not. Is he better than the Rashfords, the Greenwoods? Probably not. Very, very difficult, and it's a difficult position to be if you're English because we've got so many options there, just like at right back. So for me, Patrick Bamford, he's got no chance. So then, moving on. James Ward-Prowse, Southampton captain, Southampton skipper, in the middle of the park. Southampton had a great start to the season. They beat Liverpool, of course. They had a really good start. And then basically since that 9-0 demolishment again against Manchester, well not again against Man United, but 9-0 demolishment like they did last season, this time against United, they've sort of fell apart a bit, haven't they? They've sort of fell apart, and it's difficult for me, James Ward-Prowse, because I like him. I like the way he plays. Some people don't really like James Ward-Prowse and the way he plays football, but I really do. I think he can really offer us something very, very good. I think he's in the danger zone though. He hasn't got no chance, in my opinion. He hasn't got no chance, but he's in the danger zone. I think he's in the danger zone. Remember, I'm going to try and make it so that we haven't got, we are going to have a large amount of people in the no chance category because we can't take everyone. Look how many options we've got. We can only take 23 men to this competition. And I think Ward-Prowse in the danger zone for me. He's definitely not, should be fine. He's definitely not on the plane. I think he's in that danger zone. Tyrone Mings then. For me, I'm sorry Aston Villa fans. A lot of Villa fans rate him. A lot of Villa fans think he's a great centre-back. A lot of Villa fans think he should be starting, I think, for England. But then I know a lot of Aston Villa fans that really don't think that. A lot of Villa fans don't really rate him at all. And I think I'm in that sort of boat of, I don't really not rate him, but at the same time, I don't think he's better than a lot of centre-backs we've got, as options now. We've got players like John Stones, I think, who has sort of come into this season and taken this season with two hands and said, I'm going to prove to everyone that I can play in the Euros as a centre-back and I'm going to be quality for City, which he has done. So Tyrone Mings hasn't really benefited from that. So in my opinion, he's got no chance. For me, definitely not. Ainsley Maitland-Niles then. Obviously, Arsenal for the first half of the season. January now gone out to West Brom, so he's tried to do that. He's tried to move for playing time, really, isn't it? He's tried to move for that option of playing football week in, week out, and does that benefit? And it's quite difficult because you don't really know how that loan spell is going to go. If he's a key part of West Brom, staying up and saving themselves from relegation, then maybe he's got a shout. But if we're doing it right now, as of March, I don't think he's got enough. And for me, he's got no chance. Right now, he's not proved himself enough this season for him to be in that 23-man squad. So for me, he's gone. Wan-Bissaka then. Wan-Bissaka. Where's he going to go? A player that, again, doesn't really benefit, again, from the amount of depth we've got in the positions at right back. We've got so many options at right back in the right back position. We've got so many different players that can play there. The Arnolds, the Jameses, and obviously then Wan-Bissaka. A lot of players can also fit in at right back. Kyle Walker as well is a right back, can also play centre back and has done for England. So many options and so many different ways that we can play a right back, and all very different right backs. For Wan-Bissaka this season, he's a great defender. He's a very, very good defensive player at right back. Is he going to offer something great going forward? I'm a firm believer of us playing a full back. a full-back formation. I think we definitely should play either a 4-3-3 or something like that. I think 4-3-3 probably does get the most out of a lot of the players. I know Gareth Southgate sometimes likes to play the 3. And if he played a full-back, I think Wan-Bissaka, does sort of have a chance. He plays at a full-back for Manchester United, but is he better than Alexander-Arnold and Reece James right now? I don't think he is. For me, we're probably only going to be able to take 2 right-backs to this competition and to the Euros, so I don't think he's got a chance. He's in no chance for me. He's in no chance for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Next up then, Ben Chilwell. Of course, joined Chelsea in the summer. Big fee, big move for him from Leicester to London's Chelsea. What happens? Does he... for Chelsea, it's very difficult, isn't it? And for him, it must be in a very, very difficult situation. He's come in, he's going to be Frank Lampard's left back. Frank Lampard's gone now, so is he going to be Tuchel's left back? We've seen, I think that answer has been a bit of, we don't really know. Is it Alonso? Is it Ben Chilwell? I don't think Ben Chilwell is a wing back like Tuchel likes to play. He's definitely a left back playing in a 4-back formation, which again does help him a little bit if we're talking about England, because I think we definitely should play that 4-back. For me, he's got to be on the plane. I think he's on the plane. I don't think he's in the danger zone. I don't think he's on. For me, it's different. It's difficult. It's either on the plane or should be fine. We haven't got anyone who should be fine yet, but I'm not going to let that influence my decision. I think we're going to go with on the plane for Ben Chilwell. I know we've now got 2 left backs, and at the moment we are now playing with no left back because they're both on the plane. But I think it's so difficult. Shaw or Chilwell. Shaw, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult. They've both got their own positives. But this season, who's been the better left back? For me, it's Luke Shaw. So it's difficult. It really, really is difficult. Here we go then. Next one, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, a player that started the season so well for Everton, and he's been good. He has continued to be pretty decent, but that start was a fire start. It was a fiery start. So it's difficult. It really is. And like I said, we've got so many options up front. We've already talked about it with Patrick Bamford. What happens with Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I think he's in the danger zone. I don't think he's got no chance. But I don't think he should be fine. I don't think he should be fine. I think he's in that danger zone, a little bit like James Ward-Prowse. The options we've got in centre midfield, like James Ward-Prowse, the options we've got up front with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, they're better. It's just due to the great depth we've got. It's really, really difficult. So that's where I'm going to put him, in the danger zone for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Here we go then, Connor Cody, the Wolves centre back, the Wolves captain. Where's he going to go? Where does Connor Cody go in this category, in this tier list? I think he's got to go in no chance. I think he has. You look at the centre backs that have come into this season. We look at the centre backs that we've got as options. I think Connor Cody's. Hasn't had Wolves haven't been great this season, have they? Wolves haven't been great this season. They had a really good season last season. This season, they've struggled. They really have struggled, and the league table shows that. And Connor Cody's in the heart of that defence, so he definitely does have a question mark around it. For me, it's no chance. I don't think he's got a chance. I think he's in that no chance category. And that's where I'm going to put him. For Curtis Jones then, Liverpool player, Liverpool youngster, of course, comes through the youth set up there, and he's been a big part of Liverpool this season. Hasn't been a big part of Liverpool's success because they haven't been as successful as they have been. But he's been pretty decent. He's been pretty solid in that midfield. He's liked to play in that centre midfield. We know he can also play out on the left as well, sort of. Maybe as a left winger, even a right winger, I think. But he can definitely play in that midfield like we've seen so much this season under Jurgen Klopp. Is he in no chance? I don't think he is. Is he in the danger zone? I think he probably is in the danger zone. You look at the options we've got in midfield, I don't think Curtis Jones should be fine. I think he's really got to have if he has a really, really incredible second half of this season, if he, sets the world alight and Liverpool really turn this around, then I think we can really maybe talk about Curtis Jones being in that team. Not being in maybe in the starting 11, but being in that squad. But I think at the moment, we've got to think about the 23-man squad. I don't think he gets in there. So that's why I'm going to put him in danger zone at the moment, though. Danny Ings then, another player, another striker, another very, very talented striker of England. The many we've got. Where are we going to put him? I like Danny Ings. I really do like him. But again, we're speaking about these options we've got up front. And, we can't keep putting these strikers other than Harry Kane in the other categories. We've got to put a big player. We've got to get our second best striker in there. And the question is, who is our second best striker? Who is our best 3 strikers for England? You know, I don't think it's Patrick Bamford. I don't think it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It could be Dominic. But for me, I actually rate Danny Ings more than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Big statement, but I do. So I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin's probably got to get in there. I think, but then I think Danny Ings has probably got to get a shout in there as well. This is so difficult. It's really, really difficult to do this because I am speaking my thoughts, and that's the difficult thing because we've got so many options, and we're proving again the depth and the players, the quality of player we've got in this England option shortlist is incredible. Is absolutely fantastic, and we're not moaning about it. It just makes it extremely difficult. We've got Ollie Watkins also in that category list as well, another fantastic option at striker. I'm going to go with Danny Ings should be fine. It's risky, it's crazy, but I think Danny Ings should be in the team. Should be on the plane. I think he should be, but then he should be in the on the plane category then surely. But I think he's definitely. I think he should be fine. Just like the category says, I think Danny Ings should be fine. He's been good this season. Injuries again is a difficult one for Ings, isn't it? It's quite difficult, but I like Danny Ings, and if he's fit, I think he's got to be pretty decent and pretty fine in those options. Dele Alli then. Dele Alli for me right now he's got no chance. Big thing to say, but right now I don't think he's got a chance. If he plays, he can't just be playing Europa League football to think that that's going to get him a spot. I know it's not his fault. I mean, you can argue it's his fault. He didn't, Jose Mourinho and him didn't really see eye to eye and haven't and still don't, I don't think. So maybe there's something behind closed doors that Ali did train hard. Not training hard enough is an obvious one that I think we all can sort of guess. But, he can't be in this team because he's playing Europa League football against teams that aren't, look at the opposition. There's no disrespect to Tottenham's Europa League opposition, but, they're not going to be against the sort of calibre of team and the calibre of players he's going to be up against in the Euros. So it's difficult to see what Dele Alli, on his day, he can be an incredible player. And on his day, he can be an absolutely fantastic player. But right now, he does not in there. And for me, no chance. Right now, not a chance. He plays more football. He starts getting time in the Premier League. He starts getting those opportunities. We can start thinking about it. No chance right now, though. Eric Dyer. Now, I've got some strong words to say about Eric Dyer. I've got to be honest. I really, really don't want to upset too many people by saying this. Like for me, Eric Dyer's weird. Eric Dyer's a weird player. We look at the centre backs we've got, and you look at I actually generally think Eric Dyer. We look at the other centre backs. I think Michael Keane has been a better centre back than Eric Dyer this season. Big thing to say. I think it's true though. I think Michael Keane has been great for Everton, and the reason why Tottenham are quite well, where they are in the league table is because their defence has been it hasn't been strong enough. They've conceded a lot of goals. They haven't been strong enough. I know it's difficult for Dyer because, he keeps getting put with another player. Is it going to be Alderweireld one week? Is it going to be Davinson Sanchez the other? It's very difficult. Is he going to be put with Tanganga? You've got so many different options that Eric Dyer's having to play with at the back. It's difficult to sort of really gain the momentum, I guess. But at the same time, I really don't think Eric Dyer should be playing. I think he should be fine because he's a very, very versatile player in terms of he can play defensive midfield, he can play centre back, but then again he says he doesn't want to play defensive midfielder. He wants to be a centre back. But I actually think his best position isn't the centre back. I think his best position probably is a defensive midfielder, which is strange, which is crazy. For me, defensive midfielder, but he's not going to play there, is he? He wants to be a centre back. So I think we're going to have to just live with the fact that he's going to, he's going to want to play a centre back. So I think we've got to play him there. But I wouldn't play him there. I don't care. I'm the manager in this situation. He's not playing centre back. If he is going to play, probably defensive midfield. But then again, look at the options we've got in there. But I think he should be fine. Here we go then. Ben Godfrey, player moved from Norwich, of course, to Everton in the summer. A big move for him. They got relegated, but he was a sort of a shining light, I guess, in that team that got relegated last season at Norwich. And he got that opportunity under Carlo Ancelotti to come back into the Premier League and spend another year, or move to a club in the Premier League, basically. And the opportunity he's got there with Everton. I think he's done quite a good job of it. I think he's been pretty solid. I think he's been pretty decent. But do I think he's going to be playing with those other centre-backs? To be honest, I actually think Ben Godfrey is probably a better centre-back, in my opinion, than Eric Dyer. The big thing to say, and a lot of Tottenham fans and a lot of football fans probably really don't like me for saying that. But I think it's true. I think it's the way it is. So I'm going to put Ben Godfrey in the danger zone because I think Eric Dyer, he's got that experience, and I think that might give him the edge in that sense. He's played in the World Cup. He's played in competitions for England before. Ben Godfrey, I like him, but right now I don't think he's going to get in there because of the other options we've got. Here we go, Harry Kane. Well, that's an easy one. He's definitely playing. Oh, he'll play. Harry Kane. Oh, he'll play. And he will be a huge part of this team. He's probably going to be captain like he was for the World Cup. There's no doubt in my mind that that's going to happen. I think that's going to be the case. I think that's a pretty decent. I think that's a pretty savage manager option. Harry Kane. Without a doubt. Sorry, get yourself in that category, mate. No chance of you anywhere else. Harry Maguire then, an interesting one. You know, he's got a lot of question marks over him right now with his form at Manchester United. What is he doing at Manchester United at times? We don't really know. Is he a captain of Man United? I don't really know. Is he good enough centre back for a team like United? Again, I don't really know. You know, it's difficult to sort of point a finger really, you know, or sort of really sort of narrow down what Harry Maguire. I don't want to say what Harry Maguire's good at, because he's very, very good at different things, but at times he sort of literally plays like he's never played football before. So it's difficult, isn't it? You know, we know what Harry Maguire can offer, but is he going to offer it enough? For me, I don't think he does. But I think Gareth Southgate will play him. I think he will, and I think he's on the plane. In my opinion, I know it's not a bit of it is sort of sometimes a bit. It does sort of turn into what do I think will happen and what I want to happen. But I think I think Harry Maguire will probably be playing. But for me, I don't think he's a definite sort of starter. I think for me, he's on the plane, but that's what I'm going to put in there. Harry Winks. I don't know about Harry Winks. I don't know. I think he can offer at times a really, really good option in that midfield. But again, I'm looking at other midfield options. I think we've got a lot of players that can play in the position that Harry plays in. So for me, he's got no chance. In my opinion, he's not got a chance. I'm sorry, Harry, but I think that's the way it is. Harvey Barnes then of Leicester. He's had a good season, hasn't he? He's had a good season, but again, we're looking at the options we've got. We've got Jack Grealish, we've got Hudson-Odoi, we've obviously got Harvey Barnes, we've got Maddison, we've got we've got a lot of players like that. We've got Watkins still to talk about. We've got Sterling, we've got Phil Foden, we've got Mason Mount, we've got Greenwood, we've got Rashford. All these great attacking midfielders and attacking players and strikers and forwards. Is Harvey Barnes getting himself in there with those players? This season on form, I think he definitely is involved in that. So I think he's in the danger zone. But I like Harvey Barnes. I really like Harvey Barnes. But again, he's got so many, and Saka as well, he's got so many different, again, it's so difficult to be a player for England. You've got to be on the top of your game and the top form if you want to be part of it, and part of this squad, because of the options we've got and the real quality of players we've got. So for me, he's in that danger zone. I don't think he's got no chance because he's had a really good season for Leicester. I don't think he's got a guarantee. I don't think he should be fine. I don't think he's guaranteed himself going to this competition. But I think danger zone's a fair place to put Harvey Barnes. Right, our first goalkeeper then. Who am I going to play in goal? I'm going to say it's not going to be Dean Henderson. I don't think Dean Henderson can play as our number one and our main goalkeeper for this tournament. He's on the plane for sure. I think I'll do these ones. I'm going to put Pickford also on the plane because I'm going to put Nick Pope as our number one. I think that's what James put as well for his one. But I think that's got to be the way it is. I think Nick Pope has got to be the number one. You look at what he's done for with Burnley this season, been in great form, and Pickford, he's been so error prone, and so at times I really worry about Jordan Pickford and any moment he can produce something great, but at any moment he could produce an absolutely disastrous situation, and that's what I worry about him. Dean Henderson, I don't think he's got that experience yet to be playing as our main number one this competition, so that's why I'm going to put him on the plane. All three will go, but I think Nick Pope's got to be number one in my opinion. Here we go then, Callum Wilson, another striker, another centre forward. Who's it going to be then? Who is he going to be on the plane? Is he going to be should be fine? Is he going to be in the danger zone? Has he got no chance? For me, Callum Wilson, he's got no chance. Or he's in danger zone. So hard, so difficult, so difficult. I'm looking at the other strikers we've got. We've got Watkins. Still talk about. Is he the last centre forward we got left? Well, Mason Mount and Rashford arguably, but where are those positions? Where are those two's best positions really? That's what I'm trying to say. I think Callum Wilson's in the danger zone. I don't think he's got no chance because he's been good form for Newcastle. He's scored goals, and I know Gareth Southgate likes Callum Wilson, but I don't think he guarantees himself. We've already said Danny Ings should be fine, and obviously Harry Kane will be playing. I don't think we're going to be taking more than 3 strikers or 2-3 out-and-out strikers. So I think that's the way it is. Next player then. Odoi though. Where does Hudson-Odoi go? For me, I think Hudson-Odoi is a difficult one as well. I don't think he's got. I think he's got no chance. You look at the options we've got. You look at the options we've got in those attacking positions, offensive positions. I think Hudson-Odoi's got to be in that no chance category. If he plays great football in the Tuchel and he continues to play week in week out for him, and he proves himself as a great attacking option for England, maybe. But at the moment, I think he's got no chance, and I think that's the way it is. Jack Grealish then, very very difficult one. Jack Grealish. Where does Jack Grealish tend to go? I tell you what, to quicken the process up a little bit. I've got another we've got another Ainsley Maitland-Niles in there, so he's also going to be a no chance, just like his other mate or himself. We're going to put a few in the categories that I think we're going to go with without really going into too much detail. For me, I think Tarkowski, no chance. He's not going to be playing. He's definitely not in my team. Jude Bellingham, very, very young, bags of potential, but right now, I don't think he's got a chance to be playing in there. He hasn't had a great season for Dortmund, I don't think. I'm looking at some others as well. Konsa here, I don't think he's got a chance. I don't think he has. You look at the other centre backs, we've still got to talk about a few. I don't think he's in there. Kieran Trippier as well. I don't think he's got no chance, but I think he should be fine. I think Kieran Trippier should be okay. Very, very versatile. He can play at right back. He can also sort of play in that right wing back position if we want to play a 5. So I think he's a decent shout, Kieran Trippier. We've got he's got something about him in that sense. We'll talk about Jack Grealish, haven't we? Got to talk about Jack Grealish. For me, he's on the plane. I don't think he's guaranteed himself a starting lineup place. Of course he has. What am I thinking? He's got to be in my starting 11. If I'm predicting, I sort of went in sort of 2 parties there. It was prediction or what I'd want to see. I think if I predict, I don't think he's going to be starting 11. But I will play him starting 11. I think he's been incredible for England in the Premier League for Aston Villa this season. Jadon Sancho, he's on the plane. He's not starting in my opinion. He's on the plane. I'd see him, he started pretty poorly for Dortmund this season, but he picked himself up and he's now doing pretty well for them. Maddison, big Madders, where's he going to go? Difficult, really, really, really difficult. Again, the options we've got in that position, the options we've got in that attacking midfield option for England this season, it's so difficult. Really, really difficult place to put him. James Maddison, I think he should be fine if he continues, it is important, if he continues to play the way he's playing. He's in great form right now. As of right now, he's got to be in there. He's a player that can be he's a spark that can literally set anything alight and can set a team alight. So I think he should be fine right now. Joe Gomez, again, if we're doing this of right now, he's injured, so he's got no chance if he's injured. We're not going to be taking injured players there. John Stones, for me, is a big player. A really, really big player, but so big now. What has happened to John Stones? We didn't even see him. I forgot he even existed for 2 years, and now he's come back and he looks like he's going to be playing. In my opinion, I think he's been the best defender for England this season, the best English defender. So he's playing. He's in my starting 11, I think. John Stones, Jordan Henderson. I think Jordan Henderson should be fine. The injury thing is a bit of a problem. The injury thing is an issue. He hasn't stayed fit, for the majority of the season, which is a bit of an issue. He keeps getting these sort of muscle injuries, which is a bit of an issue. But I think he's a player that can definitely play in that midfield position and do a great job there. We can see he can play at centre back. I don't think it's his best position. He's definitely not. I think defensive midfield and midfield is definitely the place for him. But a great option, no doubt. Calvin Phillips, for me, I don't think he's got a chance. I think Calvin Phillips, he's got no chance, unfortunately. Bit of a shame for him. We had such high hopes for Calvin. Well, we still do. We still do have high hopes for Calvin Phillips playing for England. But he hasn't been the player that I was expecting to come in for Leeds in the Premier League, and he hasn't been incredible. He's been good, and Leeds as well. They've had a decent season considering they've just come up from the Championship. But you look at again the other midfield options for me. I don't think Calvin Phillips gets in there. Michael Keane, like I said, I spoke about him earlier. I think for me, he's on the plane. I think he's had a really good season for Everton. But is that being a bit, is that being a little bit mental? Should be fine, I think, for Michael Keane. I think he should be fine. He's been great. He's been really, really good for England this season. For Everton, and this season. I think he should be fine. Kyle Walker then, another right back / centre back sort of player, very, very versatile in that sense defensively. Where's Kyle Walker going? Where does Kyle Walker go? Did Gareth Southgate say that he wasn't going to play for England again? So I don't know. I think he's in the danger zone, but I also think he could be fine. But I think he's in the danger zone / should be fine. He's in there. He's in sort of that position. He's in... Should be fine. Should be fine. I'll be generous. I think should be fine for Kyle Walker. I think he should be. I don't know whether or not Gareth Southgate, still wants to play him and still wants him in parts of his England plans. I don't really know that. Lewis Dunk, again, an interesting one. Lewis Dunk's a really interesting one. What does Lewis... where does Lewis Dunk fit into this team? Where does he fit into this squad if he does? It's interesting. It's difficult. I think Lewis Dunk, he's been good for Brighton this season, but again, we've spoken about his centre-backs. I think he's in the danger zone. I think he's in that danger zone. He hasn't got no chance. He's definitely got some sort of chance, but he's no guarantee. He's no guarantee. No, not by a million years. Mason Greenwood then. I know we've got Rashford there, but we'll come back to Rashford. Mason Greenwood, because I think this is a bit of a talking point. Mason Greenwood's an interesting one, a really, really interesting one, because I know a lot of people would put him in no chance. I've seen a lot of people put him in that category, but for me, I don't think he's got no chance. I think he did let himself down, I think, and I'm pretty sure he'll admit that. He let himself down when he got that opportunity to go, and obviously then got sent home with Phil Foden a few months ago, or quite a few months ago now, with that whole incident when he was in Iceland. So that wasn't ideal for him, and it didn't really help himself really in that sense. But I think Mason Greenwood, on his day and when he's firing, I think can be one of the most lethal England players we've got. He's got bags of potential, he's got bags of quality, and for that reason, I think I'm going to put him in danger zone. He's definitely not no chance. He's got to play a little bit more, and he's got to find his form, again, like he did at the end of last season, sort of post-lockdown. But for me, he's in there. He's definitely in for a shout. No chance, I think it's a bit harsh. Danger zone, I think Mason Greenwood, that's where he should be. Here we go then, Marcus Rashford. Where is my man Marcus Rashford? He's had a great season at times. He's had quite a good season. I think he's had a good season, but he's been, he's been a little bit inconsistent at times with Manchester United, I think. So I'm going to go with Marcus Rashford. Definitely on the plane. But he'll play is a definite option maybe for him. But I think he's on the plane. He's definitely on the plane. And he could be playing, but I don't exactly know. Mason Mount, for me, he's on the plane. Again, another player that's been great for Chelsea this season. Another England player that's been great in that position. He's on the plane. No doubt in my mind there. Phil Foden, again, for me, I'd play him. I would play him. He's an absolutely incredible young player. He's one of the best players, in my opinion, in the world right now. Phil Foden, for me, he's got to play. He'll play for Phil Foden, no doubt. Sterling, interesting. Again, another great attacking player. He's on the plane. He could be playing, but I think he's on the plane. In my opinion, I think he's on the plane. Reece James, then. An interesting one here, Reece James. But I've got no doubt in saying I'd play him. He'll play. Reece James. I think we've said earlier right at the start of the podcast episode, we spoke about Alexander-Arnold, it being a little bit of a toss between Alexander-Arnold and Reece James. I think Reece James is playing. I think Reece James has got to play. He's been great for Chelsea. He's a great player going forward and defensively in that position. He's been in better form, I think, than both right-back other options we've got. Or we've got quite a few right-back options, but the two that I'm speaking about a lot, Alexander-Arnold and Wan-Bissaka. So, yeah, I think he's got to play at right-back, and I think he'll play. He will play, in my opinion. Ross Barkley, interesting. For me, danger zone. Danger zone. He's not got a chance. I think that's right. But I also think he has, we look at the options we've got, we look at the Maddisons, we look at the Mason Mounts, the Phil Fodens, the Grealishes, we haven't spoken about a lot about Saka. I know he doesn't play in that attacking midfield role like I know Barkley can, but again, he's another attacking option as well, just like Curtis Jones, just like Danny Ings. These sort of really offensive players. Does Ross Barkley meet that requirement? No, I don't think he does right now. Danger zone for me. Not that he can't be. I think he's a really, really good player for Villa. I think going out on loan to Villa is a good shout and a really good decision for him to sort of make a name for himself. But it's difficult for me. I think he's in the danger zone. Saka of Chelsea, of Arsenal, of course. He should be fine. He's had a really, really good year for Arsenal. A difficult season for Arsenal. They haven't been fantastic. They haven't been great. They're in that mid-table sort of position at the moment. So it's not a really good season at all by any stretch, really, for Arsenal. But he's been a shining light. He's been a player that I think has been very, very good for Arsenal. I like Saka. I think he's a great player. Very, very quick, great at dribbling, very, very versatile as well. He can play left back, he can play left wing, he can play on the right as well. Like I said, very, very versatile. I like Saka. He should be fine. Finally then, we're going to go with Ollie Watkins. Sorry, Villa fans. Sorry, Watkins. He is going to be in no chance. I don't think Ollie Watkins got a chance. Again, we speak about the option. We've already got Wilson in the danger zone. We've already got Dominic Calvert-Lewin in that danger zone as well. So many different players in that danger zone. I think he's got to be in no chance. I'm sorry, Ollie Watkins. I think he, on his day, I think with a few more years of playing in the Premier League and sort of really finding some more form, I think he definitely could be. But right now, I just can't see it. Right now, I just can't. So that's what I've gone with there. That's my tier list for England. That is it. It took quite a while. I don't know how long we've been this episode of the podcast will be. I think it's been quite a while. But we've really gone in depth in all the options as well. I know there's a few people that were saying about Aaron Cresswell, about Darlow as the goalkeeper situation. To be honest with you, Darlow and Cresswell have got a shout. They have got a shout. But again, is he? I don't know about Darlow. It's an interesting one. He had a really, really good start to the season, didn't he? He had a really, really good first half, and I guess he's still doing pretty well now for Newcastle. But he wasn't really an option on the tier list, nor was Cresswell. So yeah, there's a few options that we could have put in there, but they're the ones that was on James's tier list for England 2021 as of March 2021. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, you like this sort of thing, please do leave a like and subscribe as well. We've got lots of content coming your way, just like this tier list stuff as well. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoy. Subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you next time on the Young Fan Podcast. I've been Jack. Like I said, this has been the Young Fan Podcast, and I'll see you in a bit. See you later.